In this episode, we talk about how to monitor load with your athletes. Right, so the question is, how do you monitor load with your athletes? So I do think load monitoring is important. All of the research shows if you have more than like a 10% jump in load from week to week, you're opening up your chance of injuries with athletes pretty significantly. But at the end of the day, I don't think it really matters how you even monitor load. There's really no accurate ways to do it. Maybe if you're doing a pure cyclical sport, you can look at mileage, but is running 10 miles at an all-out effort the same as running 10 miles at an easy pace? No, so tracking mileage doesn't really mean anything. In a sport like CrossFit, you have 50 different movements that you're tracking, so could you monitor contractions of a movement? Maybe, but what if you're doing 10 kettlebell swings, 10 burpees, 10 wall balls, 3 different movements? Is that the same as 30 reps of another movement? What if you break it down into movement patterns? So I'm doing 50 contractions of squatting a week. Well, what percentage of your rep max are all of those at? Maybe some are at 30, 40, 80. So even that's not really a consistent way of doing it. So at the end of the day, I don't think it really matters how you monitor load with athletes as long as you're doing it in a consistent fashion. If you pick some arbitrary way of doing it and you're doing it that same arbitrary way every week, at least you're creating a baseline and you could work off of that. So you could see load jumps, like peaks, troughs, plateaus. You know that there is some kind of consistent variable, versus like picking one specific way of doing it and just thinking that like it matters. You're being fooled by randomness. It's kind of the same as like a body comp athlete tracking body fat. Whether they're doing it with DEXA or calipers or bioimpedance, it doesn't really matter. What the research shows, there's really no accurate ways of tracking body fat. Even people say DEXA is the gold standard, but if you drink like a cup of water, that's going to change your DEXA results if you do them 10 minutes apart. So it doesn't matter the way that you do it. If you're going to do DEXA every single time. If you're going to do calipers every single time. That's going to create consistency versus if you're doing DEXA this week and then calipers in 6 months. That's just completely arbitrary bullshit and you have no way of knowing that you do better. So rather than looking for some perfect way to monitor load or getting like different technologies to do it, I think you should just pick something and stick to it, and then that's it.